Good afternoon, and welcome to another GotSafety EAP webinar. I'm Rick Roman, and I'm with
Steve Crawley.
And we are doing basically our second tutorial video here to show you guys how to use all of the great things in GotSafety. And so we don't want to take up too much of your time, so we want to go ahead and get started over here. But before we do, Steve, what is the first thing that we got to take care of here business-wise?
Well, let me just tell you this. Nothing beats smoking on some meats, Rick. And one of the great technologies we put into the screen and our technology today is that now we are broadcasting in 4D. So it's a scratch and sniff screen. So if you get close to your screen and scratch, you can smell the barbecue. Rick, have you smelled it?
It smells delicious.
Oh my gosh. So if you got a different monitor, don't blame us if it doesn't work, but it's working.
So we'll be asking a question. Make sure you pay attention when we ask our question here. The first person to call into EAP at our 800 number, we'll give you the number now, 800-734-3574. You're going to want to go ahead and call back into that number and with the correct answer and win yourself a smoker. So Steve, let's go ahead and switch over to the actual presentation here and get started. And let's show the folks. Let's bring the phone over. And
very good. Let me do that.
Yep, you'll have to click that over here.
Technology is a fine thing. It's a fine, fine thing.
There we go.
All right. For those, what we're going to be doing right now, as you can see, for those that are on the GotSafety system and those that want to be, this screen represents our admin screen. This is one of two screens that all our GotSafety clients have. One is a login and user login for the employees. This one is used for all the admin functions. So whether you're an admin now with your company or going to be, or whether you're even an employee, one of the benefits of this webinar that we're going to go over is that you're going to be able to see some of the functionalities of the admin screen and what we really do here. Why is it different than the employee screen?
Exactly. So today we did last time, we talked a little bit about how to create custom forms and what have you. And today we're really going to be talking about doing the training and managing your lessons and your training records.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So why don't we get started with this straight away? First off, let's go in. We're going to be going into lessons. So, if you happen to have a dual screen kind of setup and you're going to follow along with us, that's just great. Log into your admin screen, follow along with us. I am in the first tab, Safety Lessons, and we're going to go into Manage Lessons first. Okay, so when we do that, there we go. Now, one thing you see is this. As a standard and default, all our lessons are activated and turned on. Now here, they're all turned off. Now, one thing I want to tell you a little bit about
all
safety
on
lessons.
Right now.
Well, yeah, they're all on. Sorry, thank you.
And how many lessons do we have?
Well, that's what I was going to say. We have over 600 lessons or safety topics. And the beauty of the GotSafety system that we give to all our clients is the ability that if you don't see out of over 600 different lessons or topics, if you don't see a lesson that fits a certain procedure, dangerous procedure, or a certain product or a machine, something you're dealing with, we want you to submit that idea, that suggestion to us as a member of the GotSafety family, or for that matter, the EAP family. We'll write that lesson for you as part of your service. It won't cost you anything extra. We'll write it, submit it into our library, and allow you to use it and track it.
And we even translate it into Spanish. And so you'll have it in English and Spanish and audio versions.
Audio versions. And thank heavens it isn't our voices. You wouldn't have to listen to us anymore.
And speaking of the audios, before people ask, right now the English versions are all done. We are working on the Spanish. So you'll see those start to populate as they are created over the next couple of months.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So first couple of things as we are in safety lessons right now. One of the benefits, if you do not want, first off, when you log in as default, we have over 600 lessons or topics shown to you. Now, we have some clients, some customers that find that a little daunting.
Yes.
That when there are people, whether it's on the desktop or on the mobile app, as Rick is showing you here, searching through 600 lessons, over 600 lessons, can be quite overpowering. So what we are able to do is just this. I am going to go over to a button and do this. This is called turn off all lessons. What this button does for us is it actually turns off all our lessons, over 600 of them. And Rick, show the good folks on the mobile app how instant that is.
So now when I go to the mobile app, you'll see there's no lessons displayed. Everything is turned off.
So with that in mind, obviously that's not going to suit anybody's purpose. The reason why we have that ability is so that, let's just say for the month of April coming up, and we have training coming up, I'm going to go in and say, look, I want all my guys for the month of April to activate aggressive clients and you know what? Acetone safety. Those are our training lessons for the month of April coming up. Rick, oh, look at that. Rick is straight to the point. If you'll notice, not only on the desktop, which I can't show you from here, but believe us, even our app will react almost instantly to the fact that I only want 2 lessons. So if, as a strategy that we've seen many of our customers use, if you only want to show your guys 1 lesson a week, let's just say you're doing training on Mondays every Monday, and you want to show them only 1 lesson every Monday because that's the lesson they're going to do, what do, Rick?
Let's just say everything and turn on the one.
So let's just say I want to get rid of my aggressive clients. I'm going to deactivate my aggressive clients. I'm only going to have my acetone, and look at that, acetone safety. Now, we also can do this for, you can do this 4 or 5, you can do it 10 lessons. I guess our point here is, if you want to manage the training and maybe don't want to send out emails to people and continue to tell everybody, hey guys, turn to this lesson, turn to that lesson, this is a great way to minimize the need for you to have to continue to report every week or every month the new lesson you got going.
Exactly. And another advantage a way that you can use it is maybe you don't want to just put on the 1 lesson you want them to do, but if you're a tree trimmer, certainly you don't need food safety lessons or other topics that we may have that have nothing to do with your industry. So you could go in here and just deactivate all of the lessons that have nothing to do with your industry, so that way, instead of scrolling through 600 lessons, you might only have 300 or 250, but at least they're all going to pertain to what you're doing. But tell them, Steve, the key with the new lessons that we add, though.
So let me do this for you. As we look at this screen, I'm going to do what Rick's just suggested. In the process of telling you those things, I'm going to choose the drug and abuse. I'm just going to go down and choose another one of these here, right? So here's the point. If you've done what Rick suggested, which a lot of our customers do, and you have maybe a couple of 100 active lessons, but we have added lessons all the time. We're adding between 50 and 30 lessons a month, Rick. So with that in mind, if you'll notice the button up here, that button is action. It will allow you, by clicking the button once, it sorts these great lessons. It'll take a little bit, it looks like. There it goes. As you can see, it has sorted them so that the non-active lessons are at the top. If I click it one more time, it will sort all my lessons, and it sorts them all so that they're up front. And so reason why that's important, and that is if alphabetically I have chosen lessons that go from A to Z, Rick, they're going to be all over the pages. By sorting them only on the lessons that you have activated, you'll be able to see whether or not you have some extra ones. Why is that important? Because, folks, this is the way this works, and we're working on some options for this. But when we add lessons to the GotSafety library, allowing you to access even more and more topics, when we do that, we have no way of bringing in the new lessons as a deactivated lesson.
Yeah, so by default, they're all going to be active. So and we enter them in as we create them. So we might do this 3 days later or 5 days later, and there's
so the issue that we have had a couple of very patient customers call us up on is somebody will choose 4 lessons, and all of a sudden the next
10.
day they either have 10, or all of a sudden amusement park safety pops up. and as much as we laugh, we have a lesson on amusement park safety. But the point being is that wasn't one of the ones he chose. So if that's happening to you, or when it happens to you,
it's not a malfunction.
Excuse me. It's not a malfunction. It is just the new lessons popping in active.
But
So
tell them about the new feature, Steve, that should be coming out here in the next few weeks here that's going to help eliminate that and actually take care of some real cool things for them.
Well, what's going to happen now in the next, it's going to be about 2 months, Rick,
okay.
Sadly. But the point being is, in the next 2 months, we're going to have a new system in place. And I'd like to refer everybody to iTunes. Now, I know most of us probably have an iTunes account and an iTunes music library. Consider our library of lessons like your iTunes library of music. Well, you have playlists. We all create them, and these playlists are for everything from working out to relaxing, whatever the name is. Am I right?
Right, exactly.
Well, those playlists have certain songs that you take from your library. And then once that happens, you create playlists. Now, those same songs are in the library, your main library, but they could be in 1, 2, even 4 playlists. What we are going to be programming is a way for you to set up categories, lesson categories, so that your people can see categories like monthly training, categories like new hire. Maybe you wanted to develop a category of lessons that dealt with a certain job function like forklift driver or warehouse or I'm trying to think of a framer, roofer. I can't think of all the job titles. There are hundreds and millions.
Yes, and especially with new hire packets. You can create a new hire packet for, if you're working in a manufacturing facility, you may have, a shop new hire packet and an office new hire packet, because obviously the lessons that you want to get them trained on right away, so that on day one when they start their job, you can sit them down either with a tablet or at a PC and say, hey, I need you to read these 8 or 10 topics and sign off on them. And depending on what their job is, you've already got a pre-made packet of lessons for them that they can just go in and do, and right off the bat, you've trained them on the important things that they need to know immediately.
Absolutely. So I want to remind you, you don't lose the library. You don't lose over 600 lessons and topics. What you gain is the ability, instead of having to sort through, and all our new lessons are popping in and destroying the beautiful framework of your activated and deactivated lessons, you now can set up your own admin-based or customer-based management categories of your own lessons. What you find is important. You'll be able to sign off the same way. They'll view the same way. Everything will work the same way, except you'll have your own collections you can manage. We're very excited about it. It's a new option. We believe that it'll enhance and really make some certain jobs easier.
And so, folks, most of these ideas, like this one exactly here, they're coming to us we're getting calls from people, and they're saying, hey, it'd be like Steve was mentioning, they're having the problem where these lessons are populating their lists or whatever, that they'd like to be able to create new hire packets and stuff. And so these ideas are really spawning from our clients contacting us, and when we get numerous people, we can act on them.
Absolutely. So, and for everybody that is either new to GotSafety, new to EAP, or you've been a customer a while of the EAP and you're a new GotSafety customer, please know we want you to call in with concerns. If you have questions, if you have concerns about some of the software, some of the services you're receiving, we've had a lot of calls coming in about our new GotSafety system. It's new to people, and they just have some, more administrative and working questions. We want you to call in. We have a great team of customer support people that want to help you and make you more productive on the app. We want your experience to be the best it can be. So please don't hesitate to call us. Whether you call the EAP 800 number or the GotSafety number, call in. We'll get you connected to the right group.
And we're getting some questions here. People are asking about usernames and passwords. If you don't have that, call us. We'll get those for you. We are integrating this into it, so it's taking a while. We have over 1,000 clients. There was no switch to hit, so you may not have been migrated yet. But if you call us, we'd be happy to move you up to the front of the line and get you switched over right away.
Otherwise, we're alphabetical, Rick.
Exactly.
We're just doing it alphabetically. So with the hundreds and hundreds of customers, it does take us a little bit to get to people. All right. With that in mind, we're going to lead training lessons. Please make sure you know that if you ever have an issue, give us a call. But from a safety lesson standpoint, again, we have over 600 lessons now. We're adding 15 to 30 every month. If you don't see something you like, give us a call. We'll work with you.
So now we're going to look at managing your actual training records. When your employees go on and sign off on a training, this is where it comes, and Steve, show them how they're able to sort and manage all this.
Let me tell you this. This is the ability for us to track safety training lessons. If you have friends and other colleagues and other businesses, maybe you're a landscaper, you're construction, you're manufacturing, whatever your job is, and you've got other friends, other people in other businesses that you associate with, maybe it's an association of like businessmen. I will tell you, we all have the same problem. The problem is tracking our trainings. Now, one of the great things about GotSafety is we track a training. I'm going to take this.
Let's take a look at one and show them how it comes in.
This is Rick Roman. He's a pesky rabbit and a guy that we have trained on a lot of things. I'm going to look here. This eyeball here, folks, is an eyeball where I can actually peer into the record. Now, as you can see, poor Rick's signature looks like he was on a roller coaster or not himself. You're not taking medication, are you, Rick?
No, not at that time.
Not at that time. Well, that's good to know. So needless to say, you'll see that we have a topic name. We have his name. We have his employee ID. We have the client, which that's his client for our demo purposes. And we have a date and a time with his signature. Now, I'm going to go back. Now, Rick's signature is a little crazy. My suggestion when we look at these employee signatures is this. If your employees are with a group, and there is a shift manager, a supervisor, a foreman, somebody that's taking the group and they're all signing on his phone or another phone, it is my suggestion that you make sure that you tell your employees how important it is that they sign not with a straight line or a exclamation point or with an X, that they sign the best they can their signature. And let me tell you why it's important. It's important because when we go to validate and we print out a report that tries to validate people's signatures, it's terribly important that
with sort of pattern.
There is some pattern. We can't have everybody just putting an X down. Another thing for you managers is if you see an X on somebody's training and it doesn't seem to you to be right, I would have that guy take the training again. And the reason is because we want to make sure that his buddy didn't take the training for him or he fudged it. So I'm giving you some ideas, and let me show you how that works. I'm going to look at Rick Roman because he's been a pesky guy. And I'm going to go here and choose an employee name. And now I'm going to type in Rick. Now I know I only have one Rick. Now if I had more than one Rick, I would go space and I would put an R for his last name. Now if I had another Rick R, obviously I'd go to another character, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm now going to hit go. Now,
important that you hit go and not enter.
Good point, Rick. What we have found is people are hitting enter, and what that does is pretty much erase the whole thing, and you've got to key in Rick's name again. Enter does not mean go here on this website, so make sure you click go. As you can see here, Rick has been a very busy camper. In fact, he goes off to page 2 with his training. Now, here's a whole list of Rick's training from the history of Rick with our company. Now, that is a lot of things. What else can I do? Well, I can actually go to export to PDF, and I'm going to try this and see how this functions for us. Oh, look at that. Wants to do something for me. I can actually view this PDF at some point, but what that does for me is I can actually view a PDF with all this done. I can also export to Excel.
Yes.
By doing that, the PDF is nice and quick in case Rick was hurt. And Cal OSHA comes, or Fed OSHA comes and asks us, hey, I need a history of Rick's training. Not only will the training show this exact thing, you can see his signature has changed. Thank you, Rick. As you can see here with Anthrax training, the PDF or Excel will show not only the topic, his employee name, ID, client, but it will also show the date, time, and, excuse me, and his signature block. Not only in the Excel, it will show his signature block, but on the PDF, which is very key. I can't stress enough how important it is that your employees and you take that signature piece. It's not a joke. It's a real serious signature that says they have been trained and understand the material. Right. So please make sure that happens. But that way, you can look and see Rick Roman was trained. If I go to another guy, I can come here and say Steve C. And I can say, Steve C., what is his training? Well, he's not so crazy, but he's certainly not so trained. And he seems to have a real problem with the emergency action plan, which is fine. But if I go there, Steve's got the same kind of situation. There's my signature and there's all the pertinent information. So what I really want you to do is this. This is a great way to look and see, if your people have been trained. Now, here's the big problem, right? Suppose I have a couple of hundred people. Yes. I have hundreds of people. I can't possibly go in and key in every 400, even 80 people. I can't key in all 80 people's names. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So what I want you to see is this. This is a new button we've added. It's called non-sign-off records. This button allows you, when clicked, it now goes in and it compares our employee list with that of the training record list.
Yes. So basically now you're able to go in here and see who hasn't done training on very vital lessons. You want to make sure certain lessons that everybody in the company's been trained on, or you want to make sure who was on vacation or out sick last week when we did our training, and so you know what the topic was and when that lesson was conducted. So now you can go in here and be able to do a sort, and you can sort by topic, you can sort by the date, and see he's got the topic here.
So let me tell you this right now. I'm going to go here and I'm going to sort on that very problem I was having. It's the emergency action plan, and I'm going to do that and sort there. Now I'm going to say this. More importantly, I had 80 folks. It could be 1,000 folks. How many people have not been trained on my emergency action plan? And now when I go here, you see this date field? I can go here and say, in the month of March through the 31st, I want to know who has not been trained. So now I'm going to hit go. Well, on this database, we don't have anybody that's not been trained. What a terrible thing for me to choose. I want to show you this, though. Let's go to February 5th, I'm going to change the parameters of the sort field. Okay.
Could it be because of that parenthesis you have there?
Maybe it is. Good call, Rick. Good call. Taking a little time. Boy, Rick, our technology isn't functioning that great today. Forgive us, guys. The network is slow. All right.
There you go.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go acetone safety, everybody. All right. All right. And what I want to do is I want to check to see about acetone. All right. So here's the point. As you can see right here, based on topic of my acetone safety search.
And you did no date range.
Right now, I did no date range. And why I did that is because I just wanted to see, as a company, who in the company has not been taking acetone safety. Well, I can see there are several people here that hasn't taken it. And as you can see, I here haven't taken it either. Have I taken it, Steve? Okay, that voice you just heard is the president and supreme commander of the group, Michael Crawley. And I know a lot of you are missing Michael Crawley from these webinars. He will be back shortly in future webinars, promise you. We did not retire him. He is anxious to get back.
You're trying.
Okay, you heard him. You heard it.
But the answer to your question is no, Michael. You have not done acetone safety.
So with that in mind, folks, I'm going to come here to January 31st, and I'm going to see, and by the way, in January 31st, it's actually the same list. It's actually the same list, and the reason why it's the same list is because really nobody has taken it. We've not required it.
So even with a date range, no one's done it.
So we've given you some bad examples. What I'm trying to give to you is this. If you choose a topic and you choose a date range, you're going to be able to go to your folks and say, who has not been trained on a certain topic. Now, I'll give you an example again. If you're in April and in March, and you know in March you were having your emergency action plan training. Everybody needs to be trained in your emergency action plan. You should be able to type emergency action plan in the topic area, give a date search field of the month of March, here, and you'll see how it is. It shows up with the lovely little, calendar there. And once you've chosen those and hit go, you should be able to see it. Now, I happen to know that for our dealings, it's the same list. These are the same people that haven't taken this particular lesson. It could be any lesson that you guys have deemed for March. I know you get this feeling. I know you get it. Once you've printed this, once you've generated a list like this, you'll notice that I still have the same export fields. We still have the same PDF and Excel. And what that allows you to do is take the list in front of us and sort and send it to either one of those two items. And what it does is because I don't have any signature blocks, you're not going to get it with these because these are people who haven't taken it. What you're going to get is you're going to get the same list in front of you. Now, what you can do is, Rick, you see the topics above here?
Yes.
We're going to be able to sort on employee ID, on name. I can get them alphabetized. I can bring it any way that way I need to do it. That list will come across on the PDFs.
So there's really several ways that you can do sorting when you're in here. You can like he's showing you here. You can sort on topics. You can sort on the employee name. You can sort on the employee ID. You might have two Bob Smiths, and you need to know which one's which. So you're gonna have the employee number. And so it really helps you stay on top of your training to make sure that everyone's getting the training that they need.
Look, if I have 20 guys, if I'm a smaller company and I have between 15 and 20 guys, you may never use this. But if I've got more than that, it does become a little, it comes a little long in the tooth, if I will, to continue to search by name everybody, or even to look at the lists and say who has been trained, right? It will be easier for you to identify the training, identify the person. That's the way that works.
And we do have, as part of the new features that are coming out, Steve, the GeoTime stamping that's going to help on here as well.
So for those that are not in the Pacific Standard Time, so let me just tell you a little bit about what's happening. If you have been doing your training lessons and you're in California or Las Vegas, some other areas that are using the Pacific Time, Arizona does on some cases, time of year, you're going to find that your time is always right. Everything is fine all the time. But if you're like some of our clients that are on
the East Coast or Central.
Oh my gosh, we have a client on St. Thomas Island in the Virgin Islands. Did you know that, Rick?
Yes.
Okay. We got this great client out there. The point is, we have an option that's coming out in 6 days. And what will happen to your training records then is now, no matter where you are in the United States, or really the world, your time zone will be picked up by our app. So every time you do a training lesson, you will have a time zone. Your correct local time will show up. It won't just be Pacific time.
And the location.
Oh, yes. So now, because we have both a time zone locator and a GPS locator, your location will be picked up as part of the training records. So I'll give you an example of why that could be important to you. If you're a construction company that needs to show a maybe you're a sub and you need to show the general contractor that not only are your people trained, what they're training on, some kind of a record.
Right.
You now, Rick, when we get this going on in about 6 days, you're now going to be able to look at your training records from that point on, and they will have that location, that address, time, and date and time.
Which you'll be able to sort on and be able to separate those out to send to your general.
So instead of having to pick through some list, I know a lot of you, we've had some calls where people are saying, hey, how do I get this information to them? You'll be able to output a signature blocked output to the general contractor to prove that your guys have been trained, what day they were trained, and even where they were trained. It also helps our general contractors make sure the guys are on the job site doing the training, Rick.
Yes, exactly.
Not in their pajamas at home, something like that. There's a lot of great things to the GPS locator on that. We also have that working in our forms. I know the last webinar we did it on forms. The forms will automatically have a GPS location of where the person took that form and where they filled it out.
Yep.
So it should help out. And by the way, that will just be an automatic add to all the forms. Whether you use it or not will be up to you. But the important for us is you'll know that the data is there when you're creating your forms, because some of our contractors and some of our craftsmen, tradesmen are using the forms tool to create some really cool forms that take advantage of that GPS, Rick. So very, very nice. It's working out really, really great. Now, Rick, it looks like we have a little time. We've been about a half hour.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do the bonus training here.
Okay, there's a bonus training. And what the bonus training is, folks, is our repository tree. Now, I don't know whether or not this is a bonus to you or not, but the benefit is you haven't been able to see a lot of Rick and I's face except in a little corner. Rick and I have a face for radio, so it's probably for the best that you don't see us the whole time. But I want to show you this. A lot of you are probably saying, I recognize the repository tree. I want you to know this is a test repository tree that we use to throw things in. This is very easy. It's very quick. I know we're about 30 minutes at this point, but I want to show you how easy this is. When I look at the repository, the files this is really built like Windows file system. So if you can build folders and set up folders, as you'll notice I have my mouse here, I'm gonna do a right click. You can see here where it says new folder, right? I can put a new folder up, and as that new folder pops up right here, I can now go in and just say test, right? As you can see, that folder now has not only alphabetized, but thrown itself here. I can double click on that test folder, and now I can copy and paste or drag and drop files in here all day long.
Or even subfolders.
Oh, Rick's right. So within the test, I can go in and say subfolder and go test 1 and have that show up. So now, Rick, go in there, just go into our
repository, and there's test
there's
at the
our
bottom.
Test right at the bottom. And Rick, go there, and there's test 1.
There you go.
So for those that have not, wondered what this is, the repository is really an iCloud service. If for those that don't know what the word repository is, it's a place that holds things. It's a repository of files, right? Like a bank is a repository of money and other valuables, right, Rick?
Yep.
Doesn't everybody know what repository means, Rick?
I think most people do.
I do too. Even our president, Michael, right? Michael Crowley knows what it is?
Yes, of course.
Repository is one of his favorite words, isn't it? That's great. So with that in mind, we can put anything you'd like in here. There is no space limitations. There is a file limitation of 10 megs per file.
Yes.
But we will allow you to have on here videos, audios, JPEGs, PDFs, anything that your phone can open up natively. Some of us actually have software on our phones, Rick, that can open up Excels and Words and PowerPoints. If you were to have such an option on your phone, you could load those formats onto the repository.
Yes.
So what I'm just suggesting to everybody is you can put everything out here. As you can see from our example, we have SDS sheets. We have emergency action plans. We have all kinds of logos and things that your job sites could want.
You could send out a company memo to alert your employees. I mean, this is especially helpful when you obviously have people that are working at remote sites that are not there at your office. You can send out company memos. You can send out plans of some sort. The SDS sheets are fantastic. You can create a folder, and every time if you get a new product and you put that SDS sheet, it's automatically going to alphabetize it.
Rick, I had a customer that called me and told me that for their drivers, they were able to put all their insurance information on here.
Oh, wow.
So all of a sudden on a PDF, it had their insurance information, their card. It even had a phone number where the guy would call and instructions on what he would do in case of an accident. So there are a ton of things we can put on here that will benefit your company.
Yes.
We wanted to give you that bonus training.
And he says he actually means you, because you control this and you can put all this stuff on there yourselves. You don't have to contact us. We don't do it for you.
Rick is right. Believe me, if this doesn't work the way you think it should, please contact us. But other than that, we have had a lot of good response from this repository. So Rick, any questions?
Yeah, let's take a look here. It says, can the app be used on PC or is it only for phones?
Oh, boy, that's a great thought. So what we do with the app is really only for Android and Apple or iOS devices, tablets. If you want to access everything that we have shown you here, all you have to do is go to GotSafety.com and have your people log in as an employee. When they log in as an employee, it's like they have the app on their desktop.
Yes, they're going to see the exact same things that you see on the app They can do their training. So if you've got folks in your office or have PC, they can sign with their mouse.
Oh yeah.
And basically use their computer to do the exact same things that you would with the app.
It is fabulous. So great question. Remember this, when we say app, we mean programs downloaded from like a Android or Google Play or from iTunes. These are apps that will load on these mobile devices, not your desktop. But great question.
Okay, so someone's asking here, I guess you missed a few minutes of the webinar. There will be a replay as every time when we do these webinars. If you've registered for the webinar, even if you didn't attend, so in the future, if you see that, we invite you to a webinar and you're going to be out of town, register, because you'll get the replay link and you can watch it. And we also, you'll notice at the bottom of the phone here, we have the webinar tab, and you can watch the replays of them on there too, because we upload them there as well. Can you assign trainings to your employees through the app with a deadline to complete? Well, not yet, but in a sense, the upcoming feature of your playlist, so to speak, if you're putting in your weekly trainings, if you have a tab for weekly trainings, then all of your folks would know that's the one that needs to be done by the end of that week.
Right, but let me directly answer you very quickly. We do not have that yet. Currently, the GotSafety system does not have the ability for you to designate an employee. That would require us to have certain programmings that would significantly complicate the program a little bit. What we're working on is some ideas. One of the ideas we have is what Rick just brought up is in a few months, our category that you'll be able to build will help you disseminate those lesson topics to certain categories and groups of people. Now, again, to put a timer on it, we have been asked that. We don't have that as of yet. It's a great suggestion, and we do have that on a list of upgrades. We have to prioritize them because every upgrade requires a little bit of resource, right?
Yes, of course, and of course, depends on the demand that we get for it, how many people are asking. So at this point, I guess the answer would kind of be duly noted.
It will be duly noted. I would agree with that.
So anyway, let's go here. Let's take a look at a couple of the other questions people are asking. So someone here, Trina is asking, can we still use the existing app? So I'm assuming they're talking about the EAP app.
All right, so right now our EAP app is in a bit of quandary.
Yes.
We are in the process of looking into why it is like this. And so for those that are using the EAP side and have either not been transferred over to GotSafety or still have records that are in the EAP system, and we do have some of those folks, please use eeap.mobi. That would be eeap.mobi. eeap.mobi with your same username and password should give you all the same functionalities that the app gave you.
So in general, the system is still up. The app is having some issues. The .mobi site mirrors the app, so you can still use it. You can still access your records at the eeap.com, and you will continue to be able to do that. But once we get everybody migrated over, and it's going to take a few months, but once we do that, eventually, basically what will happen is that we will quit updating, adding the new lessons and so forth to the EAP side. So you'll really only be using it for archived records if you ever need them.
So with that in mind, I want to just really push, as we come to the end of this, I want to push everybody that if you are on the GotSafety system, we need you to stop using the paper attendance sheets. Start using the EAP or the GotSafety system that is digital, that'll build your database, because it's really important. We do not have a time or a date now on when the EAP website will be limited to such things, but it is coming up. So please keep doing that. If you are not a GotSafety client, please call us. We will move you straight to the list and put you on. At this point in time, Rick, anything else?
That's all we have for questions. But Steve, what time is it right now?
It is smoker time.
Let's bring it on over here. Let's switch the screens, and we are ready for our trivia time.
Okay. Now, let me tell you this. Everybody knows what the deal is. The deal is We're going to give you a question. Rick Roman is going to give you the question of the day. We need you to call in here and give the answer to that question. And then and we have a fabulous group of ladies waiting to take your call.
And so I'll give the number real quick, because you can only get the right answer via a telephone call. Answering here in the chat will not win you a smoker.
But we will duly note your answer and even congratulate you on your rightness.
So the number is 800-734-3574. That is 800-734-3574. First one to call us with the right answer wins this fabulous Green Mountain Grill.
I want to give you the GotSafety customers.
Go ahead.
Our GotSafety 800 number that you know of is 1-844-510-7233. 1-844-510-7233. Either one rings the same lines, folks. Rick, people have got the lines open. They're going crazy for the answer. Go.
Okay, so the question is, how many lessons are available on the GotSafety app? First one to call. How many lessons are available on the GotSafety app?
Boy, Rick, how many could there be possible?
Well, I can see right there, we saw on the phone there were quite a few. So the first one to call to let us know how many lessons we have will win this fabulous Green Mountain Grill smoker.
Rick, I'd be interested to know if anybody has taken advantage of our new 4D technology and done a scratch and sniff on the monitor. I will tell you it's fantastic if you got that going. Let me know if you can feel it, because there's power from this screen you're seeing right now, folks.
Steve, did you tell anybody how many lessons there were in the beginning of the webinar?
I'm afraid we did, Mike, several times. Several times. Mike, that voice again was the voice of the Supreme Commander, the Master of Time, Space, and Dimension, Michael Crawley himself.
Please.
All right. We're going. Oh, hold on, Rick. I got a hotline
Somebody
here.
on, hit the intercom, hit the green intercom.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Great. What is your name?
Blanca.
Blanca. What company are you with?
From Paramount Exclusive Insurance.
Very nice. Where are you located?
LA. Encino, California.
Encino, LA. We love it.
Yes.
Do you have the answer, Blanca, to our great question? How many safety lessons topics are there in GotSafety and EAP?
Over 600.
Oh!
Yeah!
All right.
Blanca?
Steve is going to transfer Blanca over to the folks that will get her address and get her prize. All right, we are getting Blanca transferred over so we could ship her new smoker with a bag of pellets so that she can get started.
He's going to hang up on her, Rick.
Hey, I'm transferring you.
All right, here we go.
I'm transferring you.
All right, well, I think we got our winner situated here.
We have our winner. You know, the lines are so busy to earn this smoker. This is the
Green Mountain Grill Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett. This Davy Crockett cooks a 17-pound turkey, ribs, brisket, salmon. The winner is Blanca from LA.
Yeah.
And we're excited to ship that to her with a bag of pellets.
$399 value, Steve.
Yes.
It is a $399 value, so believe me, we spare no expense for the good folks that support EAP and GotSafety. So first of all, thank you for being here with Rick and I.
Yes.
You are probably going to see the great Michael Crawley back because I was only licensed for 2 shows, right? My contract is only 2 shows.
Yes, so we're pretty much done with the actual webinars that we're doing for training on the GotSafety. You know, there are some other little features in there that are fairly simple to figure out on your own, but we're always here. If you need help, you can call. We're happy to do a screen share, whatever it takes. Our folks, when they come out and see you, can walk you through this as well. And we just want to make sure that you guys are able to use this and really benefit.
Right, and any future trainings will be posted on our YouTube channel. If you go to GotSafety, one word, if you type in GotSafety, one word, you'll find all our tutorial videos that we produce. Our own Rick Roman here is our producer. editor and creator of all that is holy with the videos. So great job, Rick. And please let us know if there's something you think you need. Let us know. We also take ideas on that as well.
Great. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you.